A 10-gallon is one of the most common sizes of aquariums. Great for both beginners or a nano tank. In this video, I do a deep dive into the options for setting up a 10-gallon aquarium for the least cost and best value. Hi there, it's Connor. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today I want to do a deep dive into what I think the best options are for setting up a 10-gallon aquarium at the start of 2022 to save the most amount of money but still getting good value with the quality of items you pick. So I'm going to break it into three categories. The first is what the cheapest overall setup you can get is, buying all the pieces separate. Next is what the cheapest and best all-in-one setup is, where it comes with everything in the same box for a 10-gallon setup. And lastly, what is the best value for having a stylish, kind of modern looking 10-gallon aquarium that isn't the standard looking setup. And for each setup, I'm going to look at what it's going to be required to run a full 10-gallon for a typical tropical aquarium. So it's going to be a tank, heater, filter, and light. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to show you my 10-gallon setup real quick that I have running. And then we'll go into all the options for what is the best and find the best value right now. So I want to start off by showing a 10-gallon that I recently set up. So this is just a simple quarantine tank. I have a very tiny polar blue parrot that I got that's too small to get into one of my other tanks, so I'm just growing them out in this. But this is a very basic setup. I kind of just threw together what I have, but I think it is a very good example of a pretty cheap and expensive 10-gallon setup that you can put together. So for the tank, I'm using the Aqueon standard 10-gallon. And so for full price, this retails for $20, and that's how much I got it for. For the light, I'm using the Aqueon clip-on LED light for planted tanks. And so this is $30. So you probably can get a slightly cheaper light if you want to, which I'll discuss in a bit. But it clips on well, and it's pretty bright, probably brighter than you need for this tank. I originally bought it for a 20-gallon, but it definitely does the job. For filter, I'm just using a small core sponge filter, and then I am using the Aquarium Co-op air pump, but really any small air pump will do the job. And in total, if you bought those both new, it'd be right around $20. Finally, I'm using a box tech heater, which is 100 watts, and it works for 10 to 20 gallons. I really do like the look of it. It is kind of very minimal, and if you have more of an aquascape tank, it is pretty easy to hide, which is good. And that was $20. So in total, this whole setup brand new would cost $90. So now I kind of would go into what I found online with my research to see, can we beat the cost of this and by how much? Okay, so the first setup I wanted to talk about was what I'm calling the minimal Aqueon setup. So the idea behind this is you're buying the standard Aqueon 10-gallon tank, which is the cheapest 10-gallon tank you're going to get by itself, and then getting all the equipment separate and aiming for high quality equipment with good reviews, but also the cheapest and the lowest costs. So now for the tank, we're just getting the Aqueon standard 10-gallon tank, and no tank beats this in terms of price. When it's not on sale, it costs $20. If it is on sale, it'll cost anywhere between $10 to $15. The cheapest you're going to get it is probably when Petco has their $1 per gallon sale and you get it for $10. Or if you look at local fish stores, you might be able to get them for close to that price as well at random times when they're having sales. For the light, there are two options I'm going to propose. So the first thing I'll mention is that if you do need a hood on your tank, the tank itself does not come with a hood, so you will need to get that separate. The cheapest one I found was the Aqueon Versa hood, and so it's a glass hood and it costs $17. That'll by far be the cheapest. The older style hood that's black and has a thicker light on top is actually pretty expensive, close to like $40, the cheapest I could find. But maybe if you look at a local fish store, you can find it for cheaper. But anyway, if you don't need a hood, if you're not worried about fish jumping out, you don't need to get that. It can be optional. I'm not using it on my 10-gallon right now. For lights though, there are two options. The cheapest that I found is the Aqueon clip-on LED light, and that's $17. They have two versions. I'm using the planted version on my 10-gallon, which you saw before. There also is just a freshwater version, and it's usually for about $17. I saw that on Amazon for that price just a week ago when I was doing the research, but it has just gone out of stock. But if you look around, you can probably get it for about that price, probably anywhere between $15 to $20, hopefully. The other option is a little bit higher quality. It's going to be the Higher light. and that costs about $27 right now. And it's going to be a little bit higher quality, but it really depends whether you want a clip-on light or you want the style of it going over the whole tank. For filters, the cheapest one I found that has very good reviews and people seem to really like is the Mreland Penguin BioWheel Power Filter. And so I personally have not used this, but I've heard very good things about it and seen good reviews on YouTube. So that's by far going to be the cheapest you're going to get. Another option for keeping the cost low is you could just do an air pump and a sponge filter. And I do like quartz filters myself. Overall though, if you don't have an air pump already, you're probably going to spend between $15 to $20 total on the sponge filter and air pump for first setting it up. For heater, there's a few options, all in the $10 to $15 range. Looking at them, I would go with the high top, which is $12. This one seemed the most ideal considering price, reviews, and appearance. And when you put everything together, taking the cheapest cost of all of them, it's going to cost you anywhere between $50 to $75 for the whole setup. And the range comes from depending on if you do need that optional hood and if you're going to be able to get the tank on sale. If you can get the tank on sale for $10 and you don't need the hood, you can definitely get the cost down to $50. But if you do need the hood and the tank isn't on sale, you're going to be closer to $75. But overall, that still beats the price that I did for my setup. The next option I want to talk about is getting an all-in-one kit. So now the idea behind this is you're getting everything in one box and hopefully saving a little bit on price based on that, or at least just having everything in one go so you don't need to be shopping around for different things. Now there are a number of companies that make 10-gallon kits. Almost every popular aquarium company makes one. Looking around, most cost around the $100 to $130 range, some being more expensive, some being cheaper. But two stand out that were cheaper and that seemed like pretty good quality. So the first one here is the Aqueon 10-gallon LED kit. The price on average is going to be between $85 to $100. On Petco, I've seen it on sale for $85, and on Amazon it's usually right around $100. I would just search around for the best price you can get, and it depends if you want to get it in store or just get it shipped to your door. But that's about the average I'd expect to pay for it, and it is going to come with the standard Aqueon 10-gallon, which we discussed in the first option of just getting everything separate. The next one is the Top Fin Essentials Aquarium Starter Kit, and so for full price this is $80, but on sale you can get it as low as about $48 I've seen. Right now it's a little bit more expensive, but it'll fluctuate depending on if there's a holiday and what sale's going on. The cheapest you'll probably find it is right around Black Friday, and it'll be right around that $45 to $50 range. I do personally have the 55-gallon version of this Top Fin Essentials Aquarium, and overall I did like it and was very happy with it. I really haven't had no problems. I didn't really care for the heater, but everything else worked fine. And overall, this one is going to be the least expensive, especially if you can get it on sale. Even if you can't get it on sale though, for $80 it's still going to beat the Aqueon kit and any other kit I saw. So for myself, if I were to get a kit, this Top Fin Essentials one is the one I would go with because it is the cheapest, and if you can get it on sale around the holiday, you're going to save a lot of money. And you can even beat out buying everything separate as we did in our first option if you get it on sale for less than $50. Another benefit is that we'll come with a hood right in the kit, so if you do need a hood, this also is an option that might beat out the Aqueon option we talked about in the first option of getting everything separate. And the last option I want to talk about is if you want a stylish aquarium. So now the previous options we talked about are all this basic rimmed aquariums that have a black rim around it, and they look pretty standard. Now obviously depending on what you put in there, you can still make them look very cool, but if you are looking for more of a stylish aquarium for your 10-gallon, I just wanted to go through what the best, least expensive options were for that. So there's three main options that I saw that were pretty good deals. So now the first one I'm going to talk about is if you want a rimless aquarium, the cheapest I found is going to be Waterbox. For the aquarium, that's going to be $100. And then for equipment, because it doesn't come with anything, you're going to spend about $40 if you get everything that we discussed when we were talking about getting the Aqueon aquarium. So in total, for the Waterbox and equipment, you're looking at about $140. I've had Waterbox, actually the Clear Mini myself. I had the 20-gallon version, and I was super happy with it. I do have a review of that on my channel, but it looks amazing. I had no problems. I used it for over a year and it held up great, and basically just good things to say about it. Next is an Aqueon Ascent frameless LED aquarium kit. And so for the price of this, it's $100 to $120, depending on if you can get it on sale or not and where you get it. It comes with everything in the kit except a heater. So when we're looking at the total cost, I'm going to add in $12 for a heater. But overall, this one looks pretty cool. I do like the look at it. It looks pretty modern, and the price for getting equipment and stuff is pretty good. The reviews aren't the greatest though. A lot of people complain about the lid, so I will note that. And the last and final option I want to discuss was Fluval Flex, and this one isn't rimless or anything, but it does have a really cool modern look to it, and I actually really like the look. So the price for this is usually going to be anywhere from $100 to $110. Most common I saw it for $105 last week, and now when I'm looking back at prices, it's closer to $110. This also comes with everything except the heater, so you are going to need to include the cost of about a $12 heater. But overall, this one has very good reviews, and it just looks very cool. It comes in white or black, and so this is definitely an option if you want a cool looking aquarium for a 10 gallon, close to a 10 gallon. So I personally would go with the Fluval Flex 9 if I were to pick. I personally just really like the look of it. The price is very similar to the Aqueon Ascent, but overall the reviews are much higher, and people seem to enjoy that much more. So if you were to go with that, you would really spend anywhere from $112 to $122, depending on how much you get the Fluval Flex for itself. Ideally, you can get it for about $100 and paying $12 for a heater. Now, to wrap up, overall, in my opinion, the best buy will be the Top Fin Essentials kit if it is on sale, or if you need a lid for your aquarium. You'll really be getting a good deal and beating out the Aqueon kit, plus getting more equipment than you would with the Aqueon kit, where you're really going for minimal on everything. If you don't need a lid, or if you have some pieces of equipment already sitting around for a 10 gallon, getting the Aqueon 10 gallon and other individual pieces will probably be the cheapest. And if you are looking for some more style, I gave a few options, but I personally would go with the Fluval Flex 9. So I think it's a pretty good value. It looks cool, and overall everyone else seems to like it who has had gotten it. But that wraps up the breakdown of the cheapest 10 gallon aquariums, and this is at the start of 2022. I am curious if anyone out there sees any other better deals for 10 gallons, and I plan to go through other common size aquariums in future videos and get a comparison like this. I do have one for a 55 gallon that is already up on my channel. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like so others can find it more easily, and consider giving my channel a subscription so you can see when I post other videos. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch everyone next time.